Beware Blexit. Beware now. Okay. See, this image right here was making its rounds around the internet. Okay. If you have kids at an HBCU, let them know that Black MAGAs are heading to campuses to cause trouble and create social media moments for clout and likes. They want to fight. They want to see people acting crazy and will try to cause disruption. The best way to handle this is to ignore them. Do not engage, do not debate, do not boo, do not acknowledge. Inform campus authorities and proceed to class. They are only there to go viral. And you see down there these proposed dates that these so-called Blexit motherfuckers, Black MAGAs, working for Turning Point USA, Charlotte Kirk's organization, that supposedly they supposed to be, making their rounds to all the HBCUs. Okay. Now y'all see my beloved Jackson State University there. That supposedly they were supposed to be there on October 10th. I have not heard that they were there. I asked at least one of my youngest who attends Jackson State currently if these motherfuckers were up there on campus on Friday. He said not to his knowledge, basically. But still, I want to talk to y'all about this just in case these folks are making their rounds and really inform you on what these folks got going on. Okay. But before I get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy First, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on something. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, put all you people on it. Also, feel free to join the channel so you can enjoy all rights and privileges as any other member of the channel. Okay. But Blexit, let's talk about Blexit, y'all. First of all, Blexit is talking about a black exit from the Democratic Party. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, this so-called movement was started by Candace Owens, conservative darling. Basically because she shits on black people, excuse me. She makes white people feel good. She makes white conservatives, let me be very specific. She makes white conservatives feel good. Okay. Because she likes to say, basically, racism doesn't exist in America anymore. Okay. That black people's problems are just a result of bad things in our own culture. Okay. That's who she is. And so you got a lot of other motherfuckers that are down with that grift. They may be true believers. Let me not even say that, because we do have conservatism in the black community. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay. But for some of these motherfuckers, it has become very profitable to be a black person who is willing to tell white conservatives that, hey, it ain't y'all, it's us. You know what I'm saying? That makes them feel so good. You feel me? But let me show y'all something. Okay. I'm a former high school U.S. history teacher. And I consider myself the best ever. Okay. Particularly at teaching black children U.S. history. I've seen nobody better. Okay. And this is one of the documents I created in order to help my students understand ideology. Okay. I'm going through my old resources here to show y'all this. Pardon me. But I created this document to help my students understand political ideologies. Okay. But I hope y'all can see that. Okay. It says at the top, political ideologies. Okay. I break it down to liberalism and conservatism. All right. On the left, you got all the stuff with liberalism. On the right, you got conservatism. So let's look at this. Okay. All right. Somebody who's conservative can also be called traditional or retroactivist or fundamentalist, or they just might be on the right. Most conservatives are in the Republican Party. Conservatism is mostly found in rural areas in the South and in the West, okay? And these are the things that they believe in. They believe in small government. They believe in reducing taxes for all people, including the wealthy, okay? Especially the wealthy, because they call them the job creators. And they believe that if you cut taxes for them, that their money is going to trickle down to everybody else, and it's going to help everybody, okay? Because they're going to stimulate the economy that way, okay? Because if you give them tax breaks, they're going to reinvest their money into their companies. The companies are going to grow, become more successful. Their companies are then going to hire people from the lower socioeconomic statuses, and therefore it's going to make everybody rise. That's their thinking. That's trickle down economics, okay? They believe in reducing domestic spending, okay? They always talking about that debt. We're spending too much money. That costs too much money. All that kind of shit, okay? They believe that the government should not interfere with business, so they don't like that goddamn regulation, okay? They do not like regulation on these businesses, okay? They say get regulation out of the way, cut the red tape, let businesses, let entrepreneurs do what they want to do and let them thrive, okay? They believe that private charities should help the poor, or the poor should help themselves. They believe you better pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Quit having a handout quit having your hand out for some from the government. You know what I'm talking about? Do it yourself. They prefer traditional culture. Okay, so they oppose gay marriage. They believe that God didn't say Adam and Steve, God said Adam and Eve. Okay, they oppose abortion. Okay, these are your pro-life people. You know what I'm talking about? Some of them are very extreme with those things. They be like, hell, if you even get raped, you better keep that baby. Don't blame the baby for what your rapist did to you. You feel me? They oppose stricter gun laws. So the last segment that I just did, talking about all these murders and shit in Mississippi, and me calling for common sense gun regulation, oh, they would hate my motherfucking ass, okay? Because they oppose stricter gun laws. So these your NRA motherfuckers, okay? These folks to be talking about 2A. So I support 2A. All right. They emphasize religion over science. So these are the people who they don't give a fuck about no climate change. If you tell them that the weather is changing, they say that's just how God wanted. You feel me? They don't believe in no goddamn evolution. They say, fuck that. I believe in what the Bible says about how I got here, okay? But they also believe in increasing military spending, okay? They want peace through strength, okay? And if anybody dares to fuck with us, we gonna blow them off the map. You feel me? And they prefer military intervention when dealing with foreign conflicts. So y'all remember how Trump bombed Iran and shit? Meanwhile, Obama had did the Iran nuclear deal. See, two different ways of doing things, you know what I'm talking about? Because one is conservative, or at least, well, Trump don't really seem like he has any true ideology, but his side is the conservative side, and Obama is more so liberal, you know what I'm talking about? So, do we have black people who believe the shit that I just read to you? Or most of it? Because probably nobody just is going to check every single box. You know what I'm talking about? Unless they capping. But do you have black people that believe this shit? Yes. Yes. Again, I'm a former public school teacher. I taught black children this shit. I had students who believed that shit. I did. But did you notice I left off anything on that damn list about civil rights, about human rights, about race in general? I left that shit off. Why? Because I wanted my students not to let that issue cloud their judgment. Okay? I wanted them to figure out who they really are. You know what I'm talking about? I didn't want to lead them one way or the other. I just wanted to give them the facts and let them start thinking about who the fuck they are. Okay? So I get it. That exists in the black community. And if we just go argue about the shit on that list, let's have that fair argument. Let's have that fair debate. Let's debate those ideas. Okay? You can do that. But see, there's that thing, that old race question that has divided America since these motherfuckers came over here and fucked over them Native Americans and then enslaved black people and brought them over here in 1619. That damn race question fucks up everything. Okay? Because see, the modern Republican Party fashions itself as the white man's party. That's just a historical fact. The racists that used to be in the Democratic Party, because see, both parties used to have a commitment to racism now, once upon a time. Okay? Both of them. Both of them had a commitment to the idea that white people are superior. So, like, even when you got the so-called radical Republicans of the late 1800s and shit like that, like post-slavery, you know what I'm talking about, who were supporting those new amendments, those new Civil War amendments, 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, motherfuckers that were supporting the Freedmen's Bureau, you know what I'm talking about? Ultimately, though, most white people once upon a time in this country, it was the norm in both parties to be racist, to believe that black people are inferior to whites, particularly intellectually. That was the norm. Okay? But there was once upon a time that most of the motherfuckers down south who held those beliefs were in the Democratic Party. In the Democratic Party. That is true. They were conservative Democrats. If we gonna talk ideology, let's talk. They were conservative Democrats. And these motherfucking Blexit folks call themselves conservatives. So they are siding with conservatives. They're siding with white conservatives now, okay? So the white racists who were Klansmen and segregationists, okay? Those Dixiecrats, they were conservatives. They fled the Democratic Party when they believed that the Democratic Party was turning its back on the white man. They started to break from them around 1948. Harry Truman, a Democrat, desegregated the military. The motherfuckers didn't like that. They broke off from the Democratic Party and launched what they call the States' Rights Party. Look it up, aka the Dixiecrats. They ran a motherfucker named Strom Thurmond for president. In them 60s, they damn sure thought that the Democratic Party was turning its back on the white man. When John F. Kennedy made that motherfucking speech, calling civil rights a moral issue, that speech he made the same night that Medgar Evers got shot, that speech, oh, these motherfuckers sure enough thought that the Democratic Party was turning its back on the white man. When Lyndon Baines Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 64 and the Voting Rights Act of 65 and the Fair Housing Act of 68, they felt like the Democratic Party was turning its back on the white man. And so the Republican Party said, we can grab their ass. They ripe for the picking. They ain't fucked with us since we existed. See, Abraham Lincoln was the first Republican president. So the Southern whites did not fuck with them. Conservative Southern whites did not fuck with the Republican Party because they hated Abraham Lincoln. They blamed the Republicans for what they call the War of Northern Aggression. They blamed Republicans for the crushing of the South and their lost cause. They blamed them for that. But they fled the Democratic Party after the Civil Rights Movement. And the Republican Party fashioned itself as the white man's party. That is just history. All facts. So what these Blexit motherfuckers are doing, what the Candace Owens of the world and her ilk are doing, is siding with that. At another time of white backlash in this country. That's what Donald Trump is. He is the white racist black backlash. I don't want to paint a broad brush over all of my white brothers and sisters, okay? So please forgive me if it's coming off like that. I'm not doing that, okay? So I'm trying to be more specific. The white racist backlash, Donald Trump is a symbol of that. So for these motherfuckers to be up here on this MAGA shit with him, because Donald Trump did not become president just because of the shit I showed you on this list right here. No, he didn't. Small government, it reduced taxes for all. Yeah, he did cut them taxes. But in the motherfucking Republican, George Bush cut them damn taxes. George Bush cut them motherfucking taxes. Okay? And his brother was running and he was going to cut them. Any motherfucking Republican would have cut them damn taxes. These folks love Trump because Trump was willing to say the racist shit that the racists be saying at their kitchen table, that they be saying at the bars and at the bowling alley. He was saying that shit publicly, and they were like, shit, okay. They like, we don't like Barack Obama. And he was publicly like, I don't like Barack Obama. He's stupid. He's ignorant. He's not legitimate. He needs to show us his birth certificate. They ate that shit up. When he said Mexico is sending us criminals and thugs and rapists, and I assume some of them are good people, they ate that shit up. They ate it up. So that's who these people are siding with. Okay? So when I'm telling you beware, it's not like I'm telling you to just tether yourself to the Democratic Party. That ain't what I'm saying. Okay? What I'm saying is your ass need to know the truth about who these folks trying to get you to side with. Okay? And in this motherfucking moment that we're in, over these last 10 years, really going all the way back to 08 when Barack won, going all the way back to that. This country that was founded on racist ideology that white people were superior to the Native Americans who they called savages, and therefore they felt like they deserved to conquer them. That's the founding of this shit. Okay? So to have a non-white person be the president of the United States, that shit was a shock. It was a jolt to racists, to white supremacists. Okay? So the Trump presidency is the backlash that followed the presidency of Barack Obama. And that's what them motherfuckers like these folks are siding with. So you need to be careful. Be careful now. This movement ain't about no damn reducing taxes. This movement ain't about reducing government regulation. You know, that motherfucker doing that. He's doing that shit. And he's hurting his own damn constituents. He's hurting them. He's hurting them. Because while they might say they anti-government, them motherfuckers are getting Medicaid. While they may say they hate the government, them motherfuckers are getting Medicare, Social Security, all programs that were signed into law by Democratic presidents. You feel me? While they say they hate Obamacare, them motherfuckers are benefiting from the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. But they voted for that motherfucker. Donald Trump, that is, because he fashioned himself as a defender of whiteness. And last time I checked, these motherfuckers ain't white. But they trying to get your children at these schools. If this is true, if this is what they planning on doing, I know they doing it online. They definitely doing it online, okay? They doing it on these podcasts, they doing it on social media. They doing that shit. But if this is what they plan on coming to HBCU campuses, this is what they trying to get your child to do. To side with white supremacists like they have. Now, do you have some white supremacists in the Democratic Party? Yes. Quite sure that you do. Quite sure that you do. But you ain't finna tell me that the Democratic Party, the modern Democratic Party, that features people like Jasmine Crockett, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and others, you ain't finna tell me that that modern Democratic Party is committed to white supremacy the way that the pre-civil rights movement Democratic Party was. You ain't finna tell me that shit because it's not factually the case. Does the modern Democratic Party not go far enough when they do have power? Do they not use that power, be on some gangster shit for social justice, and just human rights and just what's right in general when they have power? No, they don't. They be acting like some damn pussies. They don't use their power on some gangster shit like the Republicans do. But as a party, are they committed to upholding this bullshit like the Republicans have been? And they ain't just happened with Trump. You can go back. Bush got in office. His campaign, Karl Rove was his strategist. Go look that motherfucker up. Karl Rove knew what buttons to push. To animate racist white people. Okay? Go look at what he did to John McCain in the primary. Okay? Go study that one. Going back even further, let's go back to the 80s. Go look up the Willie Horton ad. I think it's Willie Horton. And you see the dog whistles did them over getting it. Come on, man. These folks been knew what they were doing. Nixon, Reagan, them motherfuckers mastered the Southern strategy. Okay? But this boy Trump took that shit to a whole nother level in the social media era. And that's why he has a movement. And these dumb motherfuckers are a part of that. Don't let your child be a part of it. Put it on something. I appreciate you watching. I think you'll enjoy these other videos too. So check them out now.